Ayden Heaven came into an injury-struck defense, produced a huge performance, grabbed 3 points, and a big clean sheet. Now, one of the things that I really enjoyed about Heaven's performance in this game were the signs that he can be a top defender when it comes to defending bigger spaces, which is something that we've struggled with for a long time at this club. Over the past 4 to 5 years, United struggled to find center backs that can defend high, that can squeeze man-to-man, and more importantly deal with the big spaces in behind them. But this is something that Heaven did very well in this game. In fact, not just the big spaces behind him, but often the big spaces behind his teammate. You know, when you are playing in this sort of system, there are going to be moments where your partner is going to step out and try to be aggressive, but naturally that will leave room in behind. I think Heaven showed a great reading of the game, great understanding, but also great acceleration to cover in these moments. You can see here Mazraoui is high, but Ayden Heaven does a brilliant job sort of sweeping up behind him. The other thing that he showed importantly was the ability to defend high on his side of the pitch as well. When I watched his Arsenal Academy clips, you know, he looked very technical. He looked strong and things like that. But I didn't really see someone who looked particularly quick. But what we've seen at Manchester United in the first team is that he certainly is. And I think in this game, he did a really good job of holding the high line, but dropping to defend the channel when needed to. And I think that's again mobility and athleticism. So when players are countering into these zones, you've got to have the pace to deal with them. This is such a big part of the modern game. Everyone wants to play on the ball. They want to play with their back line as high as possible, sustain pressure in the final third. But that always means that you are vulnerable to transition. There are going to be moments where you might be caught on the break. So you need someone like Heaven who has the speed. You know, United haven't got Harry Maguire, De Ligt, Lisandro Martinez, Lenny Yoro, and they're going to be Mazraoui and Ayden Heaven at the back, which I think when the team news came out, we were excited by the prospect and the opportunity, but also a little bit concerned about how balls into our box could be a problem. You can see his defensive action map. Lots of action going on in his box. Lots of clearances and blocks and things like that. And that sort of points to a defender that is reading the game really well, finding a way every single time to be in the way. That's not luck. That's skill. That's preparation. That's assessing the danger around you. That's scanning, picking up where the opposition players are, where the space might be, and where the ball might go. When Ayden Heaven is getting blocks on the edge of the box like this isn't pure coincidence. It's not fortunate that it's hit him. He has lined himself up in that position. He has assessed the situation and decided that that is the best position for him to be in. And the blocking of the shot sort of implies that he was correct. I think his positioning and body shape in the box in general is really impressive. Here, when the ball is wide, you can see that Heaven gets himself into a nice side-on position, which is really important because what that means is that when the ball is out here, Heaven can see the ball, which is very handy in football. If you can see the ball, you got a decent chance. But because he's side-on, he can also have that look over the shoulder to see where the attacking player is. But also, because he's side-on, as the ball comes across the box, Heaven being left-footed on this side, it means he can use here that left-footed action to sort of sweep the ball away. That's something that he can do more effectively from this side of the pitch than what he can do on the other side. But again, his reading of the play in those situations was strong, and I just think all round, he was resolute, and it was great to see that sort of body on the line defending, really throwing himself in front of everything, because again, when we're going back to his Arsenal Academy clips, this wasn't something that I was really expecting so quickly for him. I don't think we've seen his best this season, but he is still such a useful player that you can play almost anywhere on the pitch. And alongside Heaven, I think they defended the box incredibly well. Now, the great thing about Heaven in terms of looking to be the complete modern-day center back is that he can also play on the ball as well. That is all I have to say for today's video. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this one. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.